Steve Leisman asked Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee about this earlier on. He's here with us, along with Larry Lindsey, CEO of the Lindsey Group and former director of the National Economic Council and former Federal Reserve governor. Welcome to both of you. Steve, the president doubling down on this line of attack today, and it did contribute to the markets taking a leg lower.
Contribute, it's all it is. I mean, look, this is what you get. I mean, somebody needs to turn to the camera and tell the president to stop. I mean, he is messing with the foundation of this country. He's messing with the foundation of the economy. He's messing with America's place in the global financial system. Not to mention using the word loser. How does a president use childish phrases like that when talking about the Fed chair? I get that there's reasons to dispute or disagree with what the Fed chair is doing, but that kind of language, you just cannot and should not normalize it, Kelly. I just think, and I have one other point I think that's worth making. Where's Jamie Dimon and David Solomon and Brian Moynihan? Where are the leaders of our financial community calling on the president to stop this business about trying to fire the Fed chair? And you see what you get here in the markets, right? I think these people they're the leaders of the financial community. They have a ton at stake, and I think they have to step up and speak out.
Let me, Larry, Lindsey, turn to you. Do you think that's what this market decline is all about, is these attacks by the president on the Fed chair?
I'm sure that that's a factor in it. I think, as your previous guest noted, we started this period with people complacent, with the market pricing stretched. And so probably we were going to have a downturn regardless. Do I think that the president has exacerbated it? Oh, I'm sure he has. Let me add that it's important to note the difference between the headlines and the actual wording of what people are saying. For example, on Friday, Bloomberg had a story that they called breaking news that Kevin Hassett had raised this issue. Well, it was actually raised by one of the reporters. What Kevin said was, we will continue to study this issue. Well, if you're continuing to study something, which, by the way, is the only answer anyone can give, I mean, you have to admit you've been studying it. And you can't say you've stopped studying it because you're supposed to be studying everything. If the answer is we're continuing to study this issue, it's not news, and it's especially not breaking news. So I do think there's a little bit of overhyping and a little bit of almost fake news in the way it's being covered.
Do you think that? So you think that this is all just kind of a tempest in a teapot, and that the president is not trying to somehow, diminish? I could ask you whether he's going to push him out. I mean, there's plenty of speculation about that, and what the legal and then the Supreme Court fight. Could he demote him?
Well, let's start with the bottom line. I don't think that the president is going to fire Jay Powell. I think Jay will be there if he wants to be until next May. What the president said would be another example, is that his termination won't come soon enough. Well, let's think about that phrase. If the allegation in the news is that the president is going to terminate Powell, then how can it be the president saying his termination can't come soon enough if the president's just going to do what it can do, okay? So the interpretation in the news is contradictory. I think where the law stands is that the president cannot terminate Powell for monetary policy reasons, but he can fire him for cause. So, for example, I'm being a little bit facetious here. If Chairman Powell were to go swim naked in the reflecting pool with 6 prostitutes, then I think the president would step in and fire him. But when it comes to firing him because of monetary policy, I do not believe the president's going to do it.